A warm good afternoon to dear friends from media. I, Bhairav Bhuiya, spokesperson of Oil, welcomes you to the press interaction after 63rd Annual General Meeting of Oil India Limited. That today's press meet shall be presided over by Chairman and Managing Director, Oil India Limited, Dr. Ranjit Roth, who after retirement of Sri Sushil Chandra Mishra, took over the charge of CMD Oil on board, and we would like and regional media covering electronics and print. The 1 hour interactive session year 2021 and media friends to follow during this session. A maximum 2 questions from one media house. You may indicate your name and media house you represent.
Hello, this is Jyotirmay Hazarika from PTI, Press Trust of India.
Yeah, media house. Keep your mic in silence mode.
Should I have and welcome? Bhairav, before we start the formal proceedings, let me have the pleasure of inviting all the media friends who are participating through this virtual mode. I must welcome each one of you, having had the 63rd AGM of Oil India Limited just concluded. It is our privilege and honor to have this interaction with all the media houses. With me, we have the entire functional directors of Oil India Limited, and we also have with us the managing director of Numaligarh Refineries and the resident chief executive from Duliajan. So, my dear friends, you all know the kind of physical and financial performance Oil India has displayed in the last financial year. So without having any further delay, I would welcome your suggestions, your questions, your clarifications. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now house is open for interaction, please.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing my voice?
Yeah, clear. Your voice is clear. Please continue.
Yes, I'm Mr. Karunjiti Saikia from Duliajan, is a senior journalist, and I'm reading the Dainik Bata, Assamese daily newspaper. Firstly, I welcome to Mr. Roth to the Oil India Limited. And my question is, you have a target in 2023 is a 4+. Can you elaborate the prospective hill area in a northeast region or all over India where your company achieved the major crude oil and natural gas to fulfill the target of your 4+ production in 2023? And my next question is, I have already given to you. People, the last 63 years, the people of Assam always think that the Oil India is our company and give their full support to growth and development of the company in the high level as a Navaratna company. Now, can you give me a total production of crude oil and natural gas in Assam, including Northeast region, with the financial profit, and how much you have produced crude oil and natural gas outside the Northeast, and how much you have got the profit? This is my two questions for CMD sir, and I hope he will be able to hear my questions and give his answer regarding this.
Mr. Saikia, thank you very much for this question.
Yeah.
You have very rightly pointed out, Oil India has set out an aspirational target of Mission 4+. The intent is to enhance the production level from the current 3 million ton to 4 million ton, and the natural gas to be about 5 BCM. Now, to do this, let me elaborate a bit. We have a significant presence in the northeastern part of the country, that is Assam, in the upper Assam specifically. And Oil India has been operating on a very mature field. So the discoveries that we had done in Naharkatia and Moran are on a depletion curve right now. But in addition to Naharkatia and Moran, we have accrued, or there has been a reserve accrual in terms of some Eocene finds, for which we are still maintaining 3 million ton. Now, while the intent is to reach 4 million ton in 24-25, we have kind of created a roadmap in terms of having technological interventions to enhance production from the current wells. Now, as part of the production, you would appreciate, we have identified cluster of producing wells under various categories, and technical interventions in terms of enhanced oil recovery, in terms of hydrofractures, in terms of stimulations, in terms of removing the skin friction, in terms of enhancing the fluidity of the hydrocarbon to flow to the surface. So such interventions have been identified. We have also identified specific fields in Upper Assam and also in Rajasthan to help us to reach that particular number. Now, while we will talk about this production enhancement, you would also appreciate Oil India has also enhanced its exploration coverage. And that exploration coverage is today because of the reforms that Government of India has taken under HELP policy. We have acquired actually OALP blocks pan-India, like we have looked at category 1 and category 2 basins. So we have got OLP blocks in Assam. We have got OLP blocks in addition to the production asset that we have in Rajasthan. We have OLP block in the Mahanadi basin, that is in Odisha. We have got OLP block in KG basin, that is Andhra Pradesh. We have also picked up exploration assets in Andaman East and Andaman West shallow water and Kerala Konkan basis. So the idea was to kind of relate that to your second question, that by virtue of this accrual of assets, today from a 5,000 square kilometer available assets in terms of producing area and exploration area, today Oil India in domestic per se is having about 60,000 square kilometer of exploration acreage. And while we set out to the target of 4 million plus in next 2 years time or say, the intent is the production enhancement will happen, and also through an aggressive exploration coverage, if we strike hydrocarbon, those will also come on stream so that we can have a sustained curve. We also acknowledge the support that you have highlighted in your query, provided by the people of Assam, the government of Assam, and not only Assam, I would say the entire northeastern states in pursuing the hydrocarbon quest of Oil India in that part of the country. With specific numbers, in terms of percentage, it is very, very high, crossing 95% also. Because today we are producing very little oil from Arunachal Pradesh, Kumchai field, and a very little oil from Rajasthan. So a significantly higher number is we are producing from Assam actually.
Thank you, sir. May I ask now Amar Jaidi from PTI? Please ask your question. Amar Jaidi. Yeah, he's not there, I think. May I request Abhik Chakraborty, please, from Sentinel.
Hi, I am Avik Chakraborty from Sentinel newspaper. So my question is, so what is the future expansion plan for Oil India Limited? Hello.
Abhik, that is the only question?
Yeah.
Okay, let me be, I'm very glad that you have asked this question, and I want to convey in terms of our strategy. Just now I was actually responding to Mr. Saikia where we talked about the Mission 4+. But if you look at it as after acquisition of NRL, Oil India has become an integrated energy company. So we have a significant upstream presence. We also have a kind of, I would not say significant, but in terms of northeastern coverage, we have a fair amount of infrastructure in terms of midstream, that is pipeline segment. And in terms of having NRL with us, we are looking at a investment from existing 3 million ton refinery to 9 million ton capex expansion. So that is on the downstream side. As far as biorefinery, biofuel is concerned, aligned to the Government of India's focus on import substitution and 20% blending in the fuel, fossil fuel oil for transport mobility and all. We all know NRL is having an Assam biorefinery, which is bamboo-based, biomass-driven 2G ethanol plant, which is under implementation. This apart, Oil India also carries crude oil from northeastern side, from Upper Assam to the refineries in northeastern region. So we are also kind of in the process of augmenting our capability in terms of pipeline transport. Again, for a connectivity purpose on a supply chain perspective, as NRL is putting up a pipeline from Paradip to Numaligarh, which is about 1,635 kilometers of pipeline to cater to the refinery through imported crude oil. Besides this, Oil India is also seized of the matter that we are in the process of an energy transition. While oil and gas will coexist with the renewables, which is in a growth. So we have already created a portfolio of solar and wind energy, about 188 megawatt of energy portfolio. And we are going to be very, very aggressive in terms of our renewable portfolio. This besides will also, you all know that Oil India has been successfully kind of implemented a pilot plant of hydrogen, green hydrogen rather. So we would also pursue that. As far as Government of India's vision of securing oil equity abroad, we all know that Oil India has a portfolio of about 10 projects in 7 countries overseas. We have been very, very successful in some producing assets in Russia. We have got some exploration assets and in some cases developing assets abroad. We would also pursue along with our sister oil companies as an India Inc. for overseas oil equity. And we also acknowledge the fact that there is a focused attention in terms of gas-based economy. which is about 15% from current 6 to 7% to 15% in the overall energy basket. So aligned to that, while we are looking at enhancing our natural gas production, we are also diversified into CGD, and we have got collaborative approach in other states, and we have also implementing as we speak a CGD network in Guwahati. Now this apart, aligned to the hydrocarbon vision of Northeast, we all know that the Indradhanu gas grid, which is under implementation, Oil India and NRL has got 40% stake in it. We are seriously pursuing these projects to cater to the gas or natural gas requirements, not to the local populace in terms of CGD, but also the tea gardens, to the fertilizer plants, catering to the agricultural economy. And finally, I would highlight, which is going to be a very soon a reality, NRL, which caters to the Bangladesh market in addition to the eastern part of the country market, is actually implementing an friendship pipeline between India and Bangladesh. So through that, we would actually gain lots of supply chain advantage in terms of supplying POL to Bangladesh. So this is in short our roadmap for a sustainable business, and we all believe on having a kind of environmentally prudent approach. So we would actually look forward to our mission 4+.
Yeah, next, Jyotirmoy Hazarika from PTI, please.
Hello, everyone. This is Jyotirmoy Hazarika from PTI Dibrugarh. First of all, thank you for invitation to this press meet. The question is that everything has been said and done. We have already gone through the press release also. About future expansion, and the thing has been already explained very nicely. The question is that I think for 3 or 4 years ago, around 4 years ago, I asked a question to the forum that can you suggest, can you give me an estimate how much oil incurs loss during the protest and other things? Actually, you said that you'll calculate the losses and then you'll tell us later on, but till date we haven't got anything. That is number one. Number two is a very significant thing is that about Baghjan loss, how much oil incurred the loss, and have oil find the compensation to the people who have suffered a lot. Thank you. These are the 2 questions actually.
Mr. Hazarika, very pertinent questions. Now, it is as a matter of principle, do we see that during protest, is it a loss or stop in production? So from a commercial entity, but being a public sector undertaking with lots of social approach and with the kind of community engagement that we have in the northeastern part of the country, we have a very serious engagement with the local community through our CSR interventions, I would say, and which is much higher than the mandated requirement. And we believe in that. It is not that under compulsion. So what I would like to reach out to in the sense that these stoppage of work in terms of reaching out to the common public or in terms of some certain aggrieved sections of the society would be taken as part of the stride rather than assigning a lost number to it. And as far as Baghjan is concerned, let me explain this. We are actually pursuing exploration in an area where the depth of having the hydrocarbon is at about 4,000 meters. So when you encounter such incidents, but I would call it as an accident, the pressure under which the natural gas comes out, it is extremely difficult to douse that. But by virtue of technological interventions and international collaborations with our local people between Oil India and ONGC and the local support of district administration, we have been able to douse the fire, contain it. As far as loss number is concerned, it is already reflected in our annual accounts that last year it was about 500 crore rupees. But I would, through you, would reach out and tell that the nature heals so fast, the remediation is so fast, and God has been very kind that the part of area or the OIL's operational area, the healing is really fast. So we are keeping track and we are keeping a close monitoring. We have engaged national agencies, research organizations. We have got collaboration with State Pollution Control Board. And through all these mechanisms, studies are underway, and we are actually having a kind of comparative analysis. What happened, what has been the impact, and how the healing process is undergoing. I'm very glad to note and convey to all of you that we are very seriously contemplating to enhance our local community engagement in that part of the area where we are going to continue our operation. And the healing has been fantastic to the best of my ability that I can say. And these are part of our CSR commitments. So assigning again to it as a loss would be a commercial number rather than being focused on the numbers. I would request you to look at the regeneration that has happened through afforestation, through bioremediation, and by active engagement. I believe the local livelihood has actually bounced back. So with that, I think I have been able to answer your question.
Usually, media friends, I just request you to please raise your hands virtually so that we know the sequence, please. Okay, next is Nidhi Verma from Reuters. Nidhi Verma, please. Mr. Sanjay Chaudhary from Economics Times. I request my dear friends to go ahead. If you want to ask question, either you raise your hand virtually or please go ahead. Yeah.
This is Jyotirmoy once again, sir. Since a lot of media friends have been absent here, so I'd like to continue the things with a little bit more emphasis on the Bagjan incident, because I know the incident because I was instrumental in solving an event which took place with Oil India and Assam Pollution Control Board, because that time there was a press conference and I was asked by one of our Oil India officer regarding the Pollution Control Board notice to cease all operations in Bagjan immediately. And I then raised hand with the Chief Minister. I had discussed with the Chief Minister, then Chief Minister Sarvananda Sonowal, and he revoked the order next day even immediately. So it was a success for Oil India Limited.
In fact, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jyotirmoy. Thank you very much for that cooperation.
Welcome, sir. But the question was actually, was the compensation part to the locals who have suffered a lot was been over, or we have seen a lot of things regarding this compensation issue. Is recently also there were some people who were agitating. They were complaining about not getting compensation fully. That is what I was asking. Is there, are you seriously dealing with the things?
Now ask, I would request Mr. I will request Mr. Prasan Borkakoti, who is the resident chief executive based out of Duliajan, to answer specifically with respect to the compensation part.
Thank you, Mr. Hajarika, for putting in this question. And then let me put on record my deep sense of gratitude to you for all the help that we've received all through during those troubled days. We recall that with a lot of gratitude. Now, coming down to this question, so with regard to the compensation that was payable to the people who really has been impacted because of the blowout, they were putting up in those makeshift camps and all that. Whatever compensation was assessed by the government, by the district collector to be more specific, I think has been disbursed with. As of now, there's been nothing pending with us in terms of payment that is due to any of those persons who have been affected out of this. And at the same time, I think as the chairman has rightly said, the company has really engaged with the stakeholders in a much better, in a structured format, trying to develop those areas as in the form of clusters for handloom, and for a lot of livelihood options have been worked out. So as of now, if you ask me, I think it is a win-win strategy. And I think the people have been immensely benefited because of the Oil India's presence and interventions in terms of the CSR initiatives that we have. And in terms of compensations, there is nothing that it is due to be paid from the company, because whatever was assessed by the government has been duly disbursed with. So as of now, I think I'm very clear in my mind when I say there is nothing payable to the people who have been affected by this thing.
Just to supplement what Mr. Burkakoti said, see, basis the NGT order, there were 3 categories that you would be knowing were identified in terms of compensation. Category 1 were to be compensated rupees 25 lakhs. Category 2 were to be compensated rupees 10 lakhs, and category 3 kind of people was required to be compensated 2.5 lakhs. And in coordination with the district administration of Tinsukia, we have remitted and completed the entire compensation process by disbursing the amount through the district administration as per the direction of NGT. So it is all completed and settled.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this update. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Next is Saraswat Goswami, DY 365. Saraswat Goswami, please. Okay, I will go to Rishu Kalantri from Northeast now. Rishu, please unmute your audio.
Hi. First of all, I would like to congratulate Oil India Limited on its feat, the success story. And I would also like to correct that I'm a freelancer journalist, and mostly I'm reporting for eastmojo.com at this point of time. My question again is related to Bagjan. During Bagjan, we were told that after the incident, an audit will be carried our region. And so can you please throw some light on what was the outcome of the audit and what all happened?
I would
So that
request
in future
our
such kind of-
director operation to respond to this.
Yeah, good afternoon. You have rightly pointed out that it was said that some audits will be done after the completion of the incident, and accordingly, national and international agencies were engaged for various audits, like what are the damages to the environment, what are the effects regarding the sound pollution. And you will be very happy to note that all these audits were in favor of saying that there was no damage, no harm to the environment in terms of sound pollution, in terms of other environment pollution, except some in very nearby areas to the well plant where we had some traces of oil. And all those oil has been now remediated with a bioremediation process, with the help of the agency like TERI. Along with Oil India, we have some patented technology on that. And with the technology, we have bioremediated the entire oil spill in that area. So as of now, the environment is very clear. All the flora and fauna we have found to be very much in abundance in that area. And as CMD sir has also rightly pointed out, God is kind enough on us that the healing process is very fast. The entire area is now in a very clean and orderly way.
Mr. Goswami, my question is basically we were told that the other assets, what Oil India Limited, like the other oil wells which we have in our ensure that such kind of bargain type of incident, if you can throw light on the outcome of that safety audit on other installments and assets that Oil India Limited have in our region.
Well, let me just give you an assurance that we have stepped up our health, safety, and environmental engagements, both in terms of number of audit and in terms of preparedness by imparting training to oil Indians who are pursuing this particular initiative. And the percentage increases to plus 40% over the last year. So that's the kind of preparedness. That's the kind of preparedness. In terms of the HSE review per installation, we have a very structured mechanism where we review the incidents and the likelihood of incidents in terms of a risk matrix. And there is a specific standard operating procedure has also been created to meet or to be able to meet in case such accidents or incidents happen. This besides, we have created an emergency response mechanism by in the process of procuring some very specific high-tech equipments and creating a training structure to a select few people who would actually meet these emergencies or exigencies at a very fast response time, so that the spread can be curtailed, and in the time lag, we can bring in partners or otherwise to take active remediation process. So we are seized of the matter, and this has been a learning curve per se.
Thank you.
Yeah, Saraswat Goswami, DY365. You have raised your hand, please.
Hi, this is Saraswat Goswami from DY365.
Yeah.
May I know what is the status of CNG pump in Delhi? Guwahati?
Mr. Goswami, we are expecting the CNG pump by November in Guwahati. Already some pipelines have been constructed, then the CNG pump station is also under construction. So we are expecting the first pump in the month of November.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Thank you.
Yeah. Nidhi Barma from Reuters, please.
Hi, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, clear, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to touch upon your Numaligarh refinery expansion plan. How much is going to be invested, by when the expansion is over, and if there is any money that you are looking at investing in your downstream operation overall in the next few years.
See, the Numaligarh expansion is a very flagship initiative of NRL, and the intent is to fast track or keep the schedules in place so that the 3 million ton to 9 million ton happens on time, despite the locational disadvantage that is known. Plus the pipeline connectivity, which is about 1600 kilometers. We are setting up a crude oil tank farm in Paradip, then so that the imported crude oil will be pushed from Paradip to Numaligarh through a cross-country pipeline. And we are also looking at seriously the downstream derivative part post 9 million ton expansion. So the capex is in place, the FIDs are in place. We have been able to successfully do some internal accrual plowing back in the system so that the cost of borrowing will be reduced. So it is more or less on track.
But sir, how much is the investment overall in the expansion and this downstream activities that you are planning to take under NRL? And how much will be the borrowing out of it?
The exact numbers, I would request Director of Finance to respond.
Good afternoon, Nidhi. This is a total investment in the refinery project, including the crude oil pipeline from Paradip to Numaligarh, is about 28,000 crore. And out of that, about 18,900 crore, 70% is tied up as borrowing and balance 30% internal accruals or equity contribution.
And what's the timeline for this expansion, sir, and the associated pipeline?
As of now, it is supposed to get completed by end of 2025.
By 2025, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, right now we don't, nobody in queue, but I request anybody from media side, you may ask question.
Myself, Kurunjoti Sajapi repeated again my question, another two questions. Can you say me how much percentage you have released for the CR project in Northeast? And what is the any plan you have to develop the Dulejan Oil Township?
Can you please just repeat your question? There was some audio breaks.
I want to know that how much percentage of the funding to the CR project, CSR project. And next, my question is, we have heard long back that you have go for development the Dulejan Township as an oil town, but we have not seen any progress. Only the housing complexes are going to be constructed, but other roads and other things are still not. Drainage system is still not development. So, if you have any plan to develop the Dulejan Township in a better township like Papa Jamshednagar or like something other township.
Okay, as of the CSR component this year, I mean, the last financial year, we have spent about 160 crore rupees. The very specific question about the Dulejan Township, I would request the resident chief executive to respond to you.
And I just want to basically flag in a couple of issues. And I think all of us agree that Dulejan has exceeded its carrying capacity in terms of those unplanned, unstructured growth in and around the township because of the very fact that we don't have a municipal committee in place. To this regard, we have approached the government of Assam, the office of the chief minister, to kindly accord its kind approval so that we have a town committee in place to ensure that planned growth for the township. In coming to the Oil India's efforts to basically address some of those issues, I think that population size could be, the catchment size could be anywhere around 50 to 6,000 people who live in a township. The existing drainage infrastructure, take for instance, we are trying to come out with a state-of-the-art sewage treatment plant now. Many more housing projects are seen now. Many roads within the township has been developed. Some more are left that also will be done in due course. But at the same time, I think let us once again reiterate the importance of having a municipal committee where possibly we could plow in our resources to help the municipal committee to basically to take up the maintenance of the township. And it becomes herculeanly impossible for us to, with a little infrastructure or whatever infrastructure that we have to maintain the township. But despite that, till the municipal committee comes into place, I think Oil India remains pledged to maintaining its own area to ensure that thing. I think I'd also like to urge upon the prominent citizens like you from Duliajan. Let us sit down together to find out ways and means where we can address issues of concerns based on a priority that we have. I think I must recount with gratitude that all the supporters and prominent citizens of the place that you have been helping us all and out. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
In
Thank
fact,
you,
to
Gaurav.
audit what the RC, Mr. Barkakoti said, Oil India is also in the process of enhancing the health infrastructure, which is accessible to that part of the Upper Assam region. And we know that we have a hospital which is running with full capacity. And also there is a plan, you are aware, that we are going to enhance the capacity by setting up a more ultra modern, fully facilitated hospital. And school is also there, we are aware of it. But as RC said, probably a more local community engagement would help us to understand specific requirements, and those can be taken up.
Next is Bikram from Assam Tribune.
Yes.
Bikram, yeah.
Yes. My voice is clear?
Clear. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, we are grateful that Oil India Limited has been spending a lot more than other PSUs comparing to other PSUs in relation with CSR activities. But now my question is that in the last few years, we have seen that there are a lot more expenditures than in development projects than compared to government mandate. Like my question is that whether the government mandated the CSR activities of Oil India Limited, or all the CSR activities, the spending, the expenditures are totally controlled by oil management.
Mr. Bikram, thank you very much for acknowledging the fact that Oil India is a very, very serious and sincere corporate citizen. Just to give you a perspective, the mandate says that it should be 2% of average net profit of 3 preceding years. But and I'm sure you have studied the annual reports, that's why you could make that statement. If you see our percentage commitment in terms of CSR runs beyond 2%. In some year, it is even 4+%. That is one part of it. And why it is 4+%? Because we believe that community engagement and OIL's operation is a kind of synergy gain proposition. That is number one. Number two, we carry out a lot of engagement with the local community to identify what is the basic need, what is the enablers that is required, both in terms of education, skill development, health infrastructure, and many such paraphernalia activities. So you would notice the kind of CSR that we do in the Upper Assam region is very, very inclusive and very, very focused, where livelihoods have been improved in terms of skilling, in terms of education, and in terms of healthcare. As far as the CSR implementation is concerned, as part of the CSR policy of Companies Act, we have a very robust mechanism for evaluation of the CSR proposals, which is either brought forward to the management, or as a sincere and committed company operating out of Upper Assam or any other part of the India, wherever we have our operation, we discuss with the local administration, the local representatives, and the local people as well. So it's a kind of consultative process basis which we take up CSR activities, and very, very specific directional driven CSRs are also done in terms of, let's say, the aspirational district allocations, in terms of protecting the local heritage, in terms of creating tourism infrastructure wherever required or identified, in terms of many such government-driven initiatives, which is pan-India. So it is a very structured way. We have a CSR subcommittee of the board which reviews it. The proposals are approved by the board of directors. So to give you an assurance, we will continue to do the excellent CSR engagements that we have created as a legacy till now, and we will pursue it very, very seriously.
Okay,
Sir,
Vikram.
Sir, I have a doubt to clear regarding my question. In the recent past, we noticed that there are many other schemes where oil has invested, like Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and then like many other schemes or policies. Has it affected the allocation, fund allocation for the CSR activities related to Upper Assam or Assam region?
Let me answer this question in two parts. One, Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav is a matter of celebration. And as every Indian, we as a sincere corporate citizen, we also joined the entire population of India to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Then, as part of goodwill, we also engage with the local community. Let's say we had an excellent engagement in terms of Har Ghar Tiranga, which we celebrated as part of the 75th Independence Day. So these are allocated budget-driven initiatives. So it does not impact per se the CSR budget, because if we are falling short of CSR, then it would impact. Since we are doing exceedingly well through a proper budget allocation mechanism, I would assure you that it will never impact CSR budgets.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Dinanath Das, please. Yeah, Dinanath Das, please. You unmute yourself, please.
आज सभी को मेरा नमस्ते। अभी क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yeah, you're clear. Please go ahead.
सर, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि विभिन्न माध्यमों से हमें ये पता चला है कि ऑयल इंडिया का जो कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस है वो गुवाहाटी शिफ्ट किया जा रहा है, और इसके अलावा हमारी जानकारी के अनुसार कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस बनाने के लिए बामुनी मैदान में सरकार ने जमीन भी आवंटित कर दी गई। मगर मेरा एक सवाल यहाँ पर है कि ऑयल इंडिया के पास में नारंगी में अपना एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, बहुत बड़ी जगह है, बाउंड्री वॉल है, जहां पर अगर कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस को शिफ्ट किया जाता तो बामुनी मैदान में जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट करने का जो पैसा होता, करोड़ों रुपया, वो नारंगी में शिफ्ट करने पर तो बच जाता। उस पैसे को ऑयल इंडिया कहीं और भी लगा सकती थी, तो नारंगी को छोड़कर बामुनी मैदान में ही क्यों?
दीनानाथ जी, नमस्कार आपको।
हाँ जी, बताइए।
ऐसा है कि आप खुद मानेंगे, एक कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस का एक रुतबा होता है, ठीक है ना? और जो नारंगी में हमारी बाउंड्री वॉल के अंदर जो फैसिलिटी है, वहां पंप स्टेशंस है, वहां ऑयल इंडिया की लोगों की क्वार्टर्स है, और वहां पे भी हमारे कुछ लोग रहते हैं। पर हम आज के दिन के तरह देखेंगे नहीं इसको, हम देखेंगे आने वाले 10 साल में ऑयल इंडिया कहां पहुंचेगा। हम देखेंगे कि आने वाले 25 साल में ऑयल इंडिया में आज के डेट में 6000 लोग हैं, आने वाले 25 साल में, ये 10 साल में ऑयल इंडिया में हो सकता है 10,000 के करीब लोग हो। तो ये एक विजनरी स्टेप है, और असम गवर्नमेंट, जो कि असम में हम काम करते हैं, असम गवर्नमेंट के साथ साझा करके एक ऐसा ही हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे जिसमें ना तो सिर्फ ऑयल इंडिया की ऑफिस होगी, उसके साथ साथ हम एक, आपको ये बता दूं, हम वहां पे स्किल डेवलपमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट भी बनाएंगे, क्योंकि हमें ये बहुत जरूरी है हमारे लिए कि आने वाले पीढ़ियों को अगर हम लायक नहीं बनाएंगे, स्किल नहीं करेंगे, तो वो सिर्फ ऑयल इंडिया में काम तो करेंगे ही, बाकी सारे सेक्टर में भी काम करेंगे। तो ये सिर्फ ऑयल इंडिया की ऑफिस नहीं होगा, इसमें स्किल डेवलपमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट होगी और आने वाले दिनों में यहाँ पे ऑयल इंडिया की और सारे जो नए नए उपक्रम आएंगे वहां पे भी वहां उनके लिए स्पेस बनेगा। सो ये एक विजनरी एक्टिविटी है और हम ये आज के दिन को देख के नहीं बनाया है, या ये जो सोच है वो अगले 10 साल को देख के एक्सपांशन प्लान को देख के बनाया जा रहा है।
सर तहे दिल से शुक्रिया आपकी भविष्य के ख्वाब के लिए। जहां तक वर्तमान हमारे सारे पब्लिक सेक्टर है वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में बदल रहे हैं और आपकी जो इतनी सकारात्मक सोच की वजह से मैं आपका शुक्रिया कहना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि ऑयल इंडिया सिर्फ भारत सरकार का एक महज कल्पना ही नहीं है, एक इंडस्ट्री ही नहीं है, ये हमारे पब्लिकों की जान भी है। और आप भविष्य की इस तरीके की पब्लिक सेक्टर के लिए सोच रखने के लिए मैं आपको धन्यवाद और तहे दिल से शुक्रिया देना चाहता हूँ। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको।
Thank you, Dinarji. Yeah, can I ask now Aditya Goswami, please?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a question. Hello, hearing me?
Yes, yes.
Please continue.
Sir, thank you very much. We have gone through your press release and we have seen that you have a target to crude oil production to increase up to 4 million ton in next coming days. Sir, in which area in which new area you are going for exploration? My first question. And the second question is, in Dima Hasao and Karbi Anglong, when you are going to start the drilling?
बहुत धन्यवाद आपको। I mean, this is a very, very pertinent question. Oil India through OALP has acquired exploration acreages not only in Upper Assam, but also in the Mahanadi basin of Odisha, in the KG basin of Andhra Pradesh, and in the westernmost part of the country in Rajasthan, where we have our producing assets. Plus, we also have acquired assets, exploration assets on either side, eastern part of Andaman Nicobar and western part of Andaman Nicobar. And also we have picked up exploration assets in Kerala Konkan basin. And we will continue to pick up exploration assets in category 2 and category 3 basins, so that we convert exploration activity with possible discoveries, so that the category 2 basins will be getting upgraded to category 1. With very specific reference to Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao, these are our prime focused area where we are actually actively pursuing the exploration activities. We have identified prospects there and we are going to spot in the well. The community engagement is underway. You would appreciate for any drilling, exploratory drilling well, the plinth area is a necessity. To create the civil infrastructure is a necessity. The connectivity road is a necessity. So all those preliminary preparatory activities are underway and we are seized of the matter and we are going to spot in the well and then probably we will also let you know.
Thank you, sir.
Sanjeev Chaudhary from ET, please.
Hi, sir. This is Sanjeev Chaudhary. Sir, I would like to know the average crude oil price realization for the quarter after factoring in the windfall tax, and in what ways the windfall tax will impact your profit in this quarter.
I would request DF to take this question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sanjeev. The windfall, looking into the rates from 23,000 to 10,500, it is approximately $25–26 per barrel is the average which works out from 1st July till date. And based on the average crude oil price, I think our realization for this second quarter will be somewhere close to around $80 per barrel, maybe $1 or $2 here and there. And regarding the impact on the profitability, I think if we see the earlier years, the crude price realizations have been much lower. So even $75 to $80 price realization also will be much better than what we have been historically realizing. So there will be no adverse impact on the profit, rather than even after considering the impact of windfall tax, we should be making healthy profits.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, friends, actually, we are coming to the end, almost 1 hour, almost over. So I request friends to last 2 questions, please. You may please raise your hand virtually. Yeah, only 2 questions, please. Last 2 questions. Yeah, I think so. We are going to close it. I would like to thank all the media persons for their active participations. Anybody, please?
Can I get into this a small question? It's
Sure,
out of the box, out of the content actually. To the
please.
host, the question is very, I mean, you can take it in a lighter side actually. Do you think that this virtual meeting is more successful than the earlier meetings that we used to had, where you used to know each other, meet each other, then we used to exchange polite, meaningless words, and then we had a good time? This is a very, I mean, it's not a pertinent question, but it's a on a lighter side to end the session.
No, on a lighter side, let me answer this also. See, it is actually advent of technology which facilitates certain aspects, but at the cost of something. Now, expecting everybody to congregate at one location and expecting all media representatives to come to a location has been quite a constraint when we get a feedback. But there is nothing which can replace offline personal presence and pleasantry exchanges. So you have to have a kind of a balance. And I'm sure very soon probably we will have more interactions and situations would improve. But given the fact that technology gives you a bit of advantage in terms of reaching out, and we had an excellent AGM today where people all over the country reacted, responded, asked questions, which would not have been possible on a physical mode. So a quasi-physical or a virtual plus physical or a hybrid probably can be a consideration. But you have a very valid point. It is not a lighter one. It's actually a very serious one, and we are contemplating to take it into a hybrid mode and have more personal interactions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all my media friends. We are going to close the sessions. We from Oil India side, Ranjit Rath sir and all board functional directors and resident chief executive has already covered all the questions to the satisfaction of all media persons. I think, though you have still you have any question. If you have any question further, then you please contact us through our email, official email. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.